My name is Elvy Morton, and in 1984, if many of you can remember, there was nothing going on in Leicester. But at the same time, 1984 was 150 years of the emancipation of British slaves in the Caribbean, and there was nothing going on. For 150 years, that's a great number of years that should have been celebrated. And when I saw Funny Man playing his steel band outside the workshop where I worked then in Sparkenhouse Street, the idea came to me of a carnival for Leicester. I thought about it, and as Funny Man came back to the place where I worked, it was then called the workshop, I said to him, Funny Man, I see you playing steel band for people going down to the mailer. Now, wouldn't it be a good idea if you play steel band for a carnival in Leicester? And he was overjoyed. He jumped for joy. And I thought to myself, yes, that's something we can do. And then I went around the building and I spoke to Malik, spoke to Dave, and I spoke to a few more people about it. And they all agreed it would be a good idea. And getting people agreement made me feel good. So I found the police, and I asked them about a carnival in Leicester because we need crowd control. And they didn't have any objection. The sergeant I spoke to was a Sergeant Peacock, and he didn't have any objection. And with that, we got a few more people involved, and we said, yes, we'll have a carnival, and the first carnival will be in 1985. And in support of Emancipation Day, which is the 1st of August, we thought we'll have a carnival the first Saturday in August, as the first day of August will not be compatible with a Saturday. So we have our first carnival on the Saturday of August, 1985. And I don't know if you, Malik, would like to say something about that, or Dave, as it was our first.
If we put it into context, this is around the time, early 80s was in terms of the street riots in Leicester. It was a time where we as African Caribbean people had nowhere to go. We had no social network, we had nowhere apart from what we used to call blues parties, or at the time I was community centre where we used to congregate. As a consequence of having nowhere to go, being stopped and searched by the police, etc., we had riots in Leicester, and as a consequence of the riots, the local authority approached the community of black people within the Highfields area, saying, what can we do to help you, to provide facilities for you? So we decided that we wanted a building. After much discussion with the local authority, much argument with them, we finally got what we call the Highfield Workshop Centre. But the history behind the Highfield Workshop Centre is that we had to sit in the building for 6 months because the City Council said it was too expensive, they wouldn't give us the money for it, so we decided we would sit in for 6 months. After 6 months of the sit-in, the local authority agreed to give us the building. We formed a joint committee, which is a representation of people within the community, from the older community, from the sound systems, from the youth. From that, we made an application to the local authority and to the In-Era programme for funding. We received funding from the In-Era programme for the Workshop Centre, as it was known then. We employed about 5 or 6 people to start off with: manager, assistant manager, catering, supervisor, assistant cook, as well as youth workers. As we developed and started celebrating our culture and actually saying we need somewhere as a focal point where we can celebrate who we are, this is the history that came about, which led to Mrs. Morton and others like Malik and Bernard and Funnyman and Walton George and James and Mr. Keynes started. And Sajay started Leicester Carnival.
My name is Malik Elhajj. Well, I could remember that the first year, 1984, and we started to plan for this carnival. And we did try to explore a few things to get funds to help, because the carnival wasn't easy to put on and it's very expensive to put on. We got ourselves a good start. We raised our own funds. We used to do our own little parties and things. I must say that we didn't get no help from the people in Leicester, the big hierarchy, the big stores. I remember when we used to go around with letters and asking them for even for £50 or whatever, just to put towards the carnival, or we put the name on the bus or whatever. Nothing. We had to raise funds for ourselves. You know, and that was, I felt proud of that too. You know, because I used to, my time was voluntary. My time was for the people. My time was for myself as well, to see what I could do, how I could help develop the carnival. You know, and our first carnival was on 1985, like Ms. M said. It was a success. We didn't know how it was going to be, but the council gave us the bit of land up by the memorial on Vicky Park, and the fence off the rest. We couldn't go. It was like a cage.
Yeah, we were caged in it.
We were caged in. It's like, you know, this is yours, the animals, caged in there. You can't go there, you can't go here.
We were given a small space by the side of the tennis court on Victoria Park. We were marginalised. It was small. There were complaints from people who lived in the area about the noise of the complaints, about the potential violence of the complaints, about everything. We had a mountain to climb. But we climbed it together.
Yeah. I remember when we were all caged in, I don't know if Bernard remember, but I called on Bernard to come and help. Come and help manage the crowd, because I couldn't do it myself. And I said to Bernard, says, come and help us sort the people out, because there were so many people crowded in this little space. But before we come to that, when we asked City Council for money, they knocked us back. And County Hall, because City Council wasn't unitary status then. Yes. They were just the city, but they weren't unitary status. They didn't have control over all the little, you know, areas and so forth. It was County Hall that had the prominence at the time. And County Hall gave us £2,000 to help. And City Council, when we told them about it, they gave us £500. Yeah. And of that £500, if we didn't spend it all, we had to give it back. And at that time, it was called clawback. So any money the City Council gave you then, and you didn't use it, they had it back. So it was through County Hall that we had the money to actually get the carnival going. Also, I must stress that Carnival, the first group of people that started Carnival put their own money into Carnival. Because whenever we had a meeting, we went around with the hat. Yeah. And everybody had to put their little bit in. Mm-hmm. And as for me and my husband, we had to, well, driving up and down and looking for people, I had to actually put my own money, because I had to put my money where my mouth where my money is, or whatever that saying, to get Carnival started. So it wasn't easy starting Carnival. It was a lot of hard work, and it on us financially, it was a strain, because at that time we were, put it this way, we were the lowest of the low as far as City Council can see. So we never had much money. So therefore we had to actually fund it.
I think we have to give a lot of credit to Mrs. Morton, because even we had doubts ourselves. Some of the people that was involved, and I'm one of them, that we had doubts about who would give us support. And it was the Leicester City Council was shamed by County Council giving us some money. Yes. And that's when they decide, well, look, in that case, we'll put in that £500. But when they talk about if you use 400, you have to give back the 100 if you didn't use it. Now, I had just started a business, a little travel agent, and prior to that, I used to go to the Caribbean every 2 years, basically, with my kids for Carnival. So I was very excited. I had an aunt that came up here, and she was over the moon when we actually put her on the park to sell, make little things and sell and so on, because to her, she was like still in Antigua and things like that. But the people, I can remember when we used to go around. I mean, Malik, he was basically responsible for the things, the collection, yes. And we used to go and people used to say, oh, we can't do that and so on. But we got a lot of support in the town from the public. But the shops them wasn't very forthcoming. I can remember once I went to McDonald's, this is about after 2 or 3 years. And we asked McDonald's, they used to give us some ice. And we asked them to support the carnival. And they said to us, no, they don't need to support it because people can't get in to the doors because there's so much people in there, they're sold out. And we tried to say, well, look, that was the main reason why you should support us, because we're bringing people in to support the company. And this is what we were getting from some of the shops. And, you know, if we was to actually follow the shops then, we would have said, no, well, we're not having carnival again. Yeah. But we persevered and persevered. And as I said, the public used to love the carnival. But our main problem as a committee, as I say, all of us was volunteering. There's a lot of work actually going into carnival. And Mrs. Morton was fortunate in a way that she was working at between Southfield College, if I remember right, tell me if I'm wrong. Yes, between Southfield College and the workshop, and she used to promote, she used to get her husband, her kids, and everybody used to do their little thing and running around trying to get people involved. I used to have to go Northampton, Derby, Nottingham. Everybody wanted to be a part of Leicester Caribbean Carnival because of the organization, how it was going. And I don't know where Mrs. Morton get it from, because in Antigua, Carnival started in 57, which I was a young boy then, and I didn't know they had Carnival in St. Kitts. But I know Christmas time is when we used to have all the activities. And Mrs. Morton persevered, and she rallied around the Funny Man and the Steel Band competition. Mm-hmm. So talk about the competitions that we put together and the Queen shows, because those was exciting. People wanted to come to Queen shows.
The thing about it is, when I started, after about a couple of weeks after I've got everybody excited about it, I thought, well, I don't know anything about carnival. What am I doing? And, you know, I began to lose sleep at nights because I really didn't know anything about carnival. Because in Nevis, where I came from, because of the Christian upbringing, when you hear a little bit of music outside, your parents stop you from going. Because my mom used to say, if you want to tell the difference between St. Kitts and Nevis, girls, what you have to do, just start knocking 2 sticks together and the Kittitians will come out dancing. That's what she used to say. Well, it wasn't dancing, she said something about winding up. But that's what she used to say. So therefore, I didn't know anything about carnival. So I said to my husband, James, who has passed away now, I said to him, do you know any Trinidadians in Leicester who can help? And because he know a lot of people, he went around and he come back and he said, yes, I know. And he called his name Ruby. And her daughters. Yeah. And to be honest, I was so pleased, and I made great friends with Ruby. She has passed away. Her daughters are still alive, but one of her daughters became the very first Felicity. Carnival queen, Felicity, you know, and which was good. So that helped me a lot, because apart from, I was able to do all the work, all the writing and everything, but to tell you the honest truth, I knew nothing about carnival, but with help from the community. That is the time when my community pulled together. That is the time that I myself appreciated, because I could call on quite a few people in the community, because I couldn't do it myself. And it was the community, and because I want the young people involved, I got Dave and quite a few of Malik and quite a few of the younger ones involved. And at the time, we must remember that we just had all the riots from London to Tuxted to all over the place. And the 81 riots hadn't died down properly, even though it was 1985 when the first carnival. 1984 was still a lot of, things in the air. So therefore, with that, we still had to be careful. We still had to involve the police, because we didn't want to aggravate anything or make it more dangerous for our young people. So I got all the young people involved. And with the first carnival, I was able to get a license for the noise, and the young people set up their band sound system right around Leicester, the Highfields area. Every corner you went, there was a sound system there, because I made sure that the young people were so much involved, because I was of the generation when they had the Black Power movement. And I've seen what happened to our people here in Leicester by the police when the Black Power movement was going on. So therefore, to get all my young people involved, I had to make sure I got a license for them to play their music, because at the time there was music. But because it was just music, I was so involved in education. And I wanted to let the young people know where their history, a lot about their history, where they came from, how they came to be here. Because at the time, there was no history in school about black history. There was nothing in school about black history. There was nobody telling them how we came to be here, because we were not immigrants, as people said. My first passport that I came here with said British passport.
Me too.
It was a British passport. It wasn't a St. Kitts passport, a Nevis passport.
English.
It was a British passport. And to see how we were treated, I myself was older, and I didn't want my young people to be treated like that. And so I got about the history of Carnival, the history of emancipation. And because the young people were so involved with music, because at the time that's all they were thinking about, I had to combine the two, the history of slavery with the music, and the young people really got involved then.
I think we can class him as a young person.
Of course he's young to me.
Because I would like to hear some of how they felt about it, because they knew nothing about Carnival, but they were really excited about the music. And how did you see it at them days?
You see, it was interesting because, like Mr. Morton said, after the riots, within our community, we were interested in our history, we were interested in our culture. So when the Carnival came about, it was a good way of sort of educating us about our history, about our culture. What we further went on to do with the Carnival, we organised workshops within schools where we used to talk about our history. We used to get musicians to go in school like Stan Samuels, like Anthony Lupi, that used to go into the schools over a 6-week period and teach music related to the Carnival. We used to have workshops, we used to have performances in the city centre, because as far as the young people were concerned, they thought to themselves, what's Carnival got to do with us? But then once they made the link between the music and the history, that's when everybody came on board. I must say, between 84 and 1990 was the most progressive times we had in Leicester.
Yes.
Business-wise, community-wise, young people, old people working together. The Carnival was a catalyst in terms of developing our social structure, our education. It was one of the main things that brought people together.
And it was the envy of the country,
It was the envy because everybody came to Leicester, from London, Birmingham, and some people came for the sound system, some people came for the processions, because we had some of the best processions that there was. We could rival nearly any city apart from London when it came down to the carnival procession. But it was a joy for us young people to get involved, because I was young then.
The good thing about it was to get young people involved, because I'm so interested in the young people of today, because I must say, when my age group came to England, we were treated abominably. And now for my young people, I want them to realize that they have a history. They have something that they can hold on to, because black history is world history. It's not just for black people, it's world history. And we went out to schools, colleges, we went on the street, we produced a magazine, we did as much as we possibly could. And if we were an affluent group of people, we could have even produced more. But at the same time, most of us were funding the carnival from our own pockets. And we were begging. We go around begging for things to do. My friend and I, we walk all the way down London Road, go from shop to shop, begging people, begging the shops to give us a donation. They can't. But then, when they heard that carnival was going to be moved from Victoria Park, they were up in arms, and they demonstrated that it must stay on Victoria Park, so that because they can get as much money as they could from the
That's another thing. The business then didn't realise the potential that carnival had. Because we had a carnival, it meant that we could attract tens of thousands of people to Leicester, where people would come spend money in the businesses, in the local shops, and in the economy.
Yeah.
They didn't recognise that. It's only after a business plan was put together with Bernard and Quaker about potential. How much money does the carnival bring to Leicester? We worked it out. It brought a lot of money to Leicester. So we looked at it. We're providing a cultural service. We're actually increasing the economy. We're actually adding to the GDP of the city. We're actually making people aware culturally what it is. Because what you must remember as well, a lot of us who was around that age used to go to schools. So our friends were Asian, they were white, they were everybody. We used to spend in each other's homes. So it was quite easy to get every nationality to come to the carnival because we were always friends.
Well, at one time, the city council were promoting Leicester Carnival Carnival as the event that bring the most money into the city every year. And they were very proud to say how much they support it. But when we come to put the carnival on and get money from them, it was so difficult. It was every money that the Leicester City Council gave us, and there's no apologies for saying this, every money that they give us to actually put towards the carnival, they charge us to cover the money that they give us. Just like fencing the park, they will tell us how much, 10,000, 20,000, it used to go up according to how many people they think coming in and what they're spending. So it was very, very difficult for us to actually put things together because we're all volunteers and we had to take off time off work, close our business, who of us had business, and just going out begging people for money to actually put the carnival on. The magazine, which is, we used to forward the magazine. People used to want a magazine every year. Yes. Everybody, where's the magazines? Where's the magazine? We say, oh, we're not having it till next carnival, the one for this year come out. And people used to be mad. Yeah, I want to see the magazine.
The magazine and the T-shirts.
The T-shirts.
The merchandise. The caps.
Yeah.
We used to try everything to raise money.
I must say that at that time, Caribbean Times came up trumps.
Yeah. Oh, yes,
because they gave us all the T-shirts and they helped sponsor the magazine.
Actually,
but at the same time,
they did more than the council.
Yeah. Oh yes, we must remember.
I was sponsored. My business and Caribbean Times was the sponsor for as one thing. Because Ari Fally, he used to communicate with me. Actually, I had a boat that he funded to decorate, to go around the town, and I still got his picture and everything. Well, we have a lot of posters and things like that, but I got the banners still from Caribbean Times, and it's a shame that this thing had to die out because Leicester then Carnival should be the number one event in the country today, not in the 90s. Now it's like a thing of the past. And I'm very sad to see that it's gone downhill. I mean, now Nottingham, Derby, Northampton, Luton, Carnival is more recognized than Leicester.
Can I say that when I saw a magazine of Derby Carnival and that they started before Leicester, I knew that was a lie. Yeah. Because Bernard would remember Derby Carnival spent 2 weeks with us in our office. They sent somebody to spend 2 weeks with us in the Carnival office, and that time it was the Unemployed Workers Center, and to learn about Carnival. But then when you look in the magazine, you see that a Derby Carnival is ahead of us, and I used to have to laugh about that because it never happened. No. At the same time, when Carnival started, we used to have steel bands in the town centre, in the Haymarket, at Sainsbury's, and there were steel bands and leaflets going around to tell everybody what's happening
and where they're
going to be. And there was a big banner that Leicester Council would put across Gallatry Gate across there for the Carnival. And we used to have a jamboree type thing on the night before Carnival in Town Hall Square, where even the BBC came down and do the recording. But then we used to have the Queen Show,
the
Princess Show, the Mama Show, and the King Show. And the King Show, you couldn't, I mean, if it was like now, they would close us down because of all the things that come in with the crowd of people and the security, because we couldn't hold the security of people. Yeah. Because the King Show, they would come and practice, the Calypso King Show, they would come and practice on a Sunday, and they would come for about 5 weeks on Sundays. And I think no one knows, every Sunday I had to have this great big pot of food and chicken, because the men were coming from Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Nottingham, all to be on the Calypso Show. And Leicester, we had Miss Smith, what's his name?
Three of them from Leicester.
Smith.
Oh, Lewa, I know.
Yes, he and Funny Man. Smarty and all those coming for Calypso Show in Leicester, which was the highlight of everything. Yeah. You couldn't control the crowd, and safety and things like that now as it is. You know, we would have been either closed down or we would have had the fire people telling us how many people could enter that building. And every Sunday, like for 5 Sundays before the show,
every week,
I've never cooked so much food, and I have to take this great big pot of food down to St. Peter's School. That time it was Sparking Out, St. Peter's School, where we had Joe Boyd. He was a blessing, the Carnival. He has passed away, but I must call his name, Joseph Keynes, but we all call him Joe. And he would give the school, not letting the school people know, or the authorities, and he would come on a Sunday and open it for the men to rehearse their songs. There were loads. Listen, it would take me a day to go back and tell you the people who has helped to put Leicester Carnival on the map. It wasn't just me, and it wasn't just us in the room. I had to call on the community, on the whole of the community, young and old and everybody. I had to listen to older people than myself at the time. Now I think I'm the oldest now. But then I had to listen to all the people, how things happened at Carnival in the past and what they would like to see. And I remember Joe Allen, who should have been here, waving the flag for the first Carnival. And I remember some older people who, at that time, they were about my age that I am now, And they came up to me, and some of them didn't know me, but they were hugging me. They were shaking my hands. They were pulling me from one place and said, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Because they have never, since they've left the Caribbean, they have never come across anything like it. And it made them feel as if they were at home. You know, and those things really brought tears to my eye, because I thought, well, I don't know anything about Carnival, but here we are, you know. And I had to, at one year, the police said, oh, you cannot have a carnival because there will be a demonstration.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, no, it will never happen. We'll never have a demonstration, we'll have carnival. And some of the young lads that were going to demonstrate, I know where they hang out. Well, I find out where they hang out. And I went and I saw them, and I sat down and I said to them, listen, what's this about a demonstration? You know you're stopping carnival. And some of the young lads out there, even though I didn't know their names, I knew their parents. And when I said to them, your mom won't be pleased, your mom won't be pleased, I call their parents' name, but I won't say the names now. They were shocked that I knew their parents. And they were in a place where, I'm not going to say where, but they were in a place where when I got home, my husband James says to me, what is that smell? And I said to him, where I've been, and he says, you're taking some chances. And then I went back to the police and I said to them, there will be a carnival. The demonstration is cancelled. And they want to know, how did I manage that? And even then, I didn't even let the carnival committee know what I'd done. Because I thought, no, I can't not have a carnival today because there's going to be a demonstration. And that carnival went off like anything. The crowd of people that were in town, you know, when you look at the crowd of people, when you look and see what Leicester has done, there were coaches from Scotland, there were coaches from Hong Kong,
Europe.
there were people from Hong Kong who came to Leicester Carnival. Because it wasn't like London. We were peaceful. We talked to everybody.
You could take part.
I include everybody.
Yeah.
You know, even young lads who you know are really worrisome. I get to talk to them.
Yeah.
I get to let them know that this is for them. It's not for me. And Carnival was there.
Carnival was a unifying force. It was a culturally unifying force. Yeah. Because up until that time, there wasn't really anything apart from the old shabeen or the old dance that we could go to. But Carnival was something from every community, every island took part in. And it was a community, and that's the key thing. Everybody wants to be part of it, young and old, because they could see the importance in terms of our cultural expression. Because nothing was there before.
Over the years, when I go out for Carnival, it really put me off. But I said to myself, I gotta go. I want to see what's happening. I want to see if it's progressing, see what's, you know. But I couldn't do nothing anyway, because I thought to myself, I had 20 years. I'm not going to get involved again, you know. And sometimes I really want to go out there and get more involved. But I thought that's my time. I gave enough time now to come in. Somebody's supposed to step up now.
The trouble with Malik, we must remember that since 9/11 happened, insurance, crowd of people meeting, the insurance shot up.
Oh yes.
You know, the public liability insurance shot up. Everybody are aware of crowds of people. Things have changed. Everything costs a lot more money. But at the same time, if you rely on the community and let them know what you're doing, they will help. They will help, because if it wasn't for the community, even though I will say, well, I started Carnival. Yes, I gave the first impression and the first day I asked people, but it was the community that came involved. Because if it wasn't for the community, I tell you, there wouldn't have been a carnival. And I made sure that we had people on the committee from nearly every island
That's
that's
right.
on the
That's
committee.
right.
So they
That's
couldn't
right.
say,
Yeah,
well,
that's
St. Kitts people take it over, Antigua people take it over. And I must give a lot of praise to Mr. Eric Hudson.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Never forget his name, because I know he's not well at the moment. But Eric was
Earl Robinson.
Earl Robinson. But Eric Hudson was a shining example
Yeah.
of what we go about, because I myself asked him for advice on how to go about things, because he was that type of person that he was already in the community. I was already a member of the Jamaican group, so therefore, you know, he was somebody you could talk to, and whatever he say, you can listen to him, because he gave good information,
And good
he
advice.
gave good advice,
But
and
isn't that the key,
I praise for
That's
him.
the key, because
Yeah.
we had so many people in the community that had knowledge. So what we do, we network with them.
Yeah.
We network with them, ask them their advice, and then collectively work together to achieve the goal.
Well, that was the key actually. The group, the committee used to discuss things together, and it spread out. But now, I don't know, I don't know anybody that's involved with Carnival now, apart from Sugar,
Well,
to
you
be
see,
quite honest.
This is what,
And-
this is what I'm getting at. Over the years, the committee dwindled because of the age and the amount of time we put into Carnival. There wasn't nobody coming in to take our place.
Yeah, but we need people,
There-
have
there
to
was-
bring them in, you can't just expect
But
them
we,
to come in.
we did try, but I don't think we try hard enough. That's one of the reasons
Yeah.
I got disillusioned with the committee when I retired, because I thought to myself, I can't be doing this all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People who started the carnival with me already gone, already retired. I was the only one left there. You know, so we have to, you know, I don't know what's happening
For the
now. I get information from Sugar, and I do keep in touch with him when, you know, to find out about carnivals happening with the carnival and things like that. But he hasn't got what do you call it? People to help him really. I don't know how he's going to go about that, getting people back involved in carnival.
The key,
You know,
the key is, you see, there's a lot of people out there who would like to be getting involved in the carnival, but it's about how they access to become involved, and then it's about the role that they can play, because the key thing about carnival is that a collective. It's always got to be a collective. Collective in terms of committee, and then the wider community. Unless the wider community is involved, then it becomes marginalised. And what have we seen over the years? The carnival has got smaller and smaller in terms of some of the sessions, in terms of what's on offer. Because to me, carnival is supposed to be a cultural and a historical representation. It's supposed to educate people about what carnival's about. It's supposed to educate people about emancipation. It's supposed to also educate people about people's different cultures, the music they play, and the influence it's had in their lives.
Can I say one of the things that we had going for us, Hurdle White used to run a program, and he was a part of Carnival in terms of working in the offices a few hours per week, if you like. And we used to get promotion. It was hard for us to get time from the Radio Leicester, well, any radio in them cases, to get something mentioned about Carnival. We had to persevere and persuade Hurdle to take chances and mentioning Carnival, because it wasn't important to the BBC or to Radio Leicester.
That's right.
We had to actually, Mrs. Morton, I was on the committee on Radio Leicester with Mrs. Morton, I can't remember who else, but a few of us basically pushed ourselves onto a committee on Radio Leicester to try and get things done.
Yeah.
And I mean, Hurdle is working with Radio Leicester now from 67.
Yeah.
And he's not a manager. You know, now we're talking about black rights, you know, Black Lives Matter, but these people got their knee on our neck for the, you know, the institutions have us Hurdle had to fight. They sacked him once,
I know.
and they tried just the other day with the COVID. I mean, I'm getting a bit excited now, but Hurdle's show is cancelled.
Yeah.
There's no show from since the COVID.
As a
but
black
all the
person
other
on the
radio
radio,
stations, all the other shows, they move
As a
on.
black person on the radio who done so much
it's
for
so
the
sad.
for Radio Leicester, cultural wise,
Well,
they should have like this because they have this Zoom business.
Yes.
Yeah.
That should have been going
Exactly.
on.
But
But they take it off and they give her the ring
Yeah.
and says, "Oh, Hurdle, can you name me 3 tunes to play tonight, please?"
But the other shows
Excuse
are
me?
by Zoom.
Our own, we haven't got nothing from the radio, from the
It's just
BBC.
another indication of the respect that we get within the local authority, within BBC
And
Radio.
I think
Yeah.
we're drifting away from the carnival business.
No, well,
With the BBC, Radio Leicester, they wanted even to take Carnival, anything to do with Carnival, off their show, and we had to go down and plead with them because telling them how important it was, because at that time we didn't have the phone that you can
No.
and the social media.
Yeah.
We didn't have that, so we had nothing to tell people about Carnival, and we had to go down and plead and beg with Radio Leicester to let us get 5 minutes of their advert time on. Well, they don't advertise, but 5 minutes to talk
Community
about
time.
Yeah, community time to talk about Carnival. And with that, that's how we got that bit of extra time to talk. Because at that time, the manager for Radio Leicester came from Liverpool or somewhere like that, and therefore she had no interest in Leicester. So, so it was a battle. We had to battle and fight our way to really get Carnival going. And it is a shame that a lot of the things that Carnival has fought for has now gone out of the window. I do understand that the money part of it, the expensive, because it has got more expensive to put things on, hiring the toilets and doing different things. But even then, when we were strong with Carnival, we still gave a lot of charitable things on the park.
We did.
Because we had sickle cell, they had a stall for free, they can make as much money, because sickle cell is to do with the black.
Prostate cancer,
We had the cancer people, we had
Macmillan.
the children society and all that, and they all had stalls on the park free. So it helps because they themselves will talk to people about Carnival, which will bring more people in. So in that case, we were doing a good job, and I think that good job should carry on even now. Even though it's expensive, yes, we know about that, but somehow or the other, we shouldn't let Carnival slip back.
No, we shouldn't. We have to be more creative now.
Yeah.
We have to adapt to the times and be more creative. There is funding out there, but it's about how we apply for the funding and in terms of how we publicise what we do.
And I know that safety is one of the things. That's why we don't have so many steel bands. We used to have lots of steel bands on the park and on the floats going around. And I know safety, but I don't know how Leicester City Council and me would have got on now, because when they say you can't do this, I tell them yes I can, and I will, and I've done it.
Yeah.
And they and what can they do? You have to tell them when they say no you can't, you say yes I can. There's no such word as can't. My great grandmother said to me, take that word and bury it in the garden. There's no such word as can't. And I wish that who is looking after Carnival now, I know it's Sugar, and I wish him well, and Sugar know that I wish him well. I want to see Carnival move forward. But do not say to City Council, to the police, to anybody, yes, yes, yes. When they say anything to you, say, no, it will happen.
Oh, it can happen.
Oh,
we
we'll
can
make it
fit.
happen.
We can fit it into your guidelines.
Yeah.
Do not let them dictate Carnival,
this is
because
what
they
we
know
used to do.
nothing about Carnival. Do not let them They've taken our names. They've taken our language. They've taken everything from us.
And now they want to take the celebration away.
So therefore, names, language, everything they have taken from us, they're not going to take our carnival, our history from us. It will not happen.
And now is a good time for it to happen because of the Black Lives Matter. We need to make sure that things are happening for the black community.
Yes.
It is a shame that Carnival didn't happen this year, as the 1st of August was a Saturday this year, and it would have been a marvelous time for Carnival.
Yes.
And it is because of the COVID-19, and everybody has to cut back and everybody has to do things differently. But I hope and pray that next year, God willing, we will have the biggest carnival. We'll have a double celebration, one from this year and next year too. Carnival.
Amen.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'm here today with Dr. Dennis Sugar Christopher.
Yes.
Dennis is the lead of Leicester Caribbean Carnival and has been since
2002.
2002. Do you want to tell me a bit about what you do with the carnival?
I took over Carnival in 2002. It was hard work. I took it over because of that, because I want to see our culture and the carnival carry on. So at this present time with Carnival, I'm trying my best to take Carnival to a different level. However, what my aim and objective to do with the Carnival is to make it self-sufficient, financially self-sufficient, because people to organize Carnival will always be around and make it work. Because it seems like every year there is something new coming in, new legislation. You want health and safety for this, health and safety for that. And that's why I'm frustrated with the Carnival at the moment.
So are you still adhering to the main kind of the background of Carnival when you're setting up? Is the focus on it being self-sufficient, or is it about what the Carnival can achieve?
Yes, my aim and objective is not the matter of just being self-sufficient. I want to make sure that the Caribbean arts, not just in Leicester Carnival, but going to schools, etc. So it's not a matter of just having Carnival on the day, as some people look at it. It's just a day Carnival, you dance, eat food and drinks. No, my aim and objective is different. What my aim is, it combats financial self-sufficient, so we can give scholarship to any youngsters that come forward in the future to take them forward. That's me, personally speaking.
So do you pick the themes of the Carnival
No.
on a year? Do we
No, I don't. I leave it out there to the community to pick the theme. Now, we still have a team yearly basis.
But it's not.
It's always been. We never change that. Never change it. I never will.
Do we go into school? Are there a lot of things going into schools at the moment?
We go into schools, but we find that was a bit, I wouldn't say a downer, because if you're going into school, if the teachers are not supportive, you can bang drums as much as you want. Yes, it's a wake-up call with the Black Lives Matter, but now you get the wake-up call, please, don't go back to sleep, stay awake to make it happen.
Some of the things that Mrs. Elvy was talking about was the council and how they were interacting. I know certain things like the movement of where the parade goes was changed. Were you in charge at that point, or was that something?
No, when the parade changed, we got to be careful when we use the parade change. Parade changed since Mrs. Morton.
Right.
However, it get worse when I took over.
Okay.
However, because I wanted to make a statement, approve it for 2020. I did do what I have to do. But that is for something for you to see on the virtual carnival.
Okay, so it's been changed again. We have a different route now.
No. What I'm saying, because we didn't have a carnival for 2020, we did do a parade in 2020.
Yes, yeah, I saw that. But what I'm meaning is, before, when I was younger, when the first parade happened, or first carnival happened, it went through Highfields.
I'm looking forward for a carnival to go through Highfields again. If the people want us to go through Highfields, we will go through Highfields.
That's what we want.
That's what I
for
would.
Everybody.
Yeah. However, we got to look at the financial implication to take it through Highfields.
What would we need to do to make that happen?
Okay, for example, I'll give you a scenario. If you come down London Road to the city centre and back, it's cheaper, far cheaper than to go to Highfields.
Really?
Oh yes.
How come? What's that about?
Okay, if you're doing a road closure just down London Road, you only have to close a couple of streets.
But no, it's not.
If you're closing, going through Highfields, you probably have to start close from Green Lane Road. You have to close maybe from Coleman Road to make the traffic, the buses, the taxis flow. That don't come free. So folks who are watching and listening to what I'm saying, that don't come free. It come at a cost.
And you have just taken over as the chair of EMCCAN as well, which is Carnival for Derby, Northampton, Leicester, Nottingham, is that correct?
Full Carnival. It's called the East Midlands Caribbean Carnival Network.
So how, is there going to be an amalgamation of all of them, or are we keeping, what does that mean?
What's that mean? Each city have its own entity. We are networking in the sense of what it is at this moment. It was formed specially to more procure. That's all that was all about. You have better bargain power to pull resources together.
But the point of Carnival is more about community cohesion.
Emancipation of slavery.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's about kind of, I think what it's turned into over the years is something where it's a way of many different cultures coming together and exploring Caribbean culture. Or getting a taster of Caribbean culture through that. So.
Yes, I can see your point of view that other different race and religion are taking part in Carnival. But why shouldn't they? If you have your birthday party, I'm not trying to question it myself. If I have my birthday party, but I have several friends, different race, religion, different thing, I invite them all at my party to celebrate. So we emancipation of slavery celebrating, so everybody can come. That's my point of view. Even better. Now we have to pay to come in. Even better. Because it makes us self-sufficient. Positive points. We can get all our money to pay our school fee for the different folks, etc.
Carnival coming on next year. Are you already planning on for next year because of how COVID is kind of?
I'll already start planning for next year.
Yeah.
Next year, we're planning from the last one finished, but the rest is history. But we are in planning now, but at the same time, even we're planning, we find difficulty moving forward because I don't want to sound negative again. 1 minute the government said 1 minute, 1 minute they say another, and the government loses. Yeah. So let's, but we are still planning.
Okay, well thank you very much for coming and sitting and talking to me today. Yeah. I did think it was important to have you here because although this is about Carnival and World Carnival, I think we're in Leicester, so it's important to have the chair of Leicester's Caribbean Carnival.
Well, in Leicester and World Carnival, I would like to see Carnival do even better. Don't matter where we are in the world, as I say, but we are discussing Leicester there's a lot going to happen in 2021. Leicester Caribbean Carnival are going to grow. And you know, I feel so passionate about Leicester Caribbean Carnival that, and it's not negative, with or without grants and all this thing where people talking about. I think the people of Leicester want Leicester Caribbean Carnival, and if they want Leicester Caribbean Carnival, they will support. And I can only open up arms and welcome everybody. I don't care what race, religion. If you come to celebrate with us as Leicester Caribbean Carnival, bless you, brothers and sisters. All welcome. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you.